Hello, one and all. This is Luckless Lovelocks. Welcome back to 999. The search for the true end continues. And we just got this light bulb, so I'm going to try to figure out where to use it. What did this say again? There's a note on top of the table. It says lights to the books. Lights to the books. Okay. What's this? Handrail's made of metal. Not too exciting. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot? Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're gonna find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. Wow. A kid's book. Here? It looks like it's a children's story about Native Americans. Don't you think a random book like that is kind of suspicious? Maybe you gotta hold on to it. Oh, wow. So I do need to look at all these books. Cowboys and Indians. This one has some Native Americans on the cover. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one. Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some... Whoa. Oh. Oh. That spells kill. Uh-oh. What's that? This one's a this one of them pop-up books is kind of... Hold on a second. LRK. That just doesn't mean anything. Does it? Well, you could make them KRL. Like Curl or Carl? Where are they? What? I see two L's and an I and a K. I don't know where. Oh, I see. These are like lowercase R's. I see kill. Interesting. Can I combine these two? Okay. Let's keep looking for like suspicious books. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. Hermian creatures. Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric critter. Not to mention, most of them were likely reptiles and amphibians without hair. I can't imagine they had much need of perms. That's got nothing to do with this. 7's awesome. Look, this one says cultural heritage of Rome. Bet that's going to be serious inheritance tax. History of Buddhism. Energy theory, development of nanotechnology, materials, interactions between shortwave energy and matter. What else we got? Just listening to you read those titles is giving me a headache. Can't say fancy technology stuff, and I get along real well. Keep on talking about that stuff, you're gonna put me to sleep. Okay, I did this. I guess I already looked at a lot of this stuff. Black hole, yeah. Guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme. Let me just make sure I got everything. Greek mythology. Damn, that thing's huge. Can't imagine anyone's actually read the whole thing. Pretty sure it'll just put me to sleep. I'll easily go to sleep. History of the Western world. European history. Yeah, just gonna leave it at that, Snake. Doesn't seem like you. Oriental history. Maybe this one's about China's 4,000 years of history or something. Hey, Chinese history and Oriental history aren't the same thing. Okay. Ladders. This big opening is the door to the library. It's pretty impressive. Almost looks like the door to a shrine or a church or something. There's another door after it, and then a passageway beyond that. At the end of that passageway is a door with that Neptune symbol engraved on it. Hurry up. We need to find the key with the mark of Neptune. Okay. This sounds like a job for the best brother and sister team in the world. Man, it's like Seven and I don't even exist. Oh, we can go down. More books. Principles of monkey behavior. Imagine that's a book describing praxeology studies on monkeys. What's that? Monkeys are very similar to humans evolutionarily, so I imagine the research was fruitful. Oh look, 7, here's a book that's perfect for you. It's called Correlation of Muscle, Bone Density, and Bone Strength. You're just saying that because it says muscle. This book is just called Dissection. Very, you know, to the point. This bookshelf must be all medical books. What I can tell, it sounds as though these books have been organized by genre. This library must be massive. I'm rather impressed by how well organized it is. Human equilibrium theory, human anatomy, generation of internal organs, ancient gladiators. What's this book doing here? Maybe they were researching human physical limits across history. Seem to be like a lot of books relating to like Roman history as well, so. Huh. Look, this one's called Recreation of Lost Human Functions. You think they're talking about if you like lose part of your body, then you could grow it back? I don't think so. Maybe they're talking about reconstructing abilities that humankind once possessed? In other words, they may be talking about cultivating a sixth sense. This one, it looks just like that picture book from earlier, the one with the pop-ups. I think they're part of a series or something. They do have the same binding. Fundamentals of baseball. Come on, Junpei, let's see what's in it. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say it's probably baseball. So what? Well, that's definitely head. Or is it? Yeah. Day. It's got the letters H-E-A-D popping out of it. Functions of the human brain, huh? Guess this is a book about the nervous system. I'd love to ask you to read it to me, but I don't think we have the time. I'm kind of curious about it too. There's got to be a reason why people connect with each other, you know? I guess I have to look at all these. It is kind of interesting. We already got monkey behavior. But I kind of like to move on. Dissection Atlas, huh? This whole shelf is full of medical books. Okay, that was that section, I think. Okay, we did Oriental history. Yeah. We're back to here. Automated robot assembly line techniques. Some sort of comic book? Geez, I guess boys really like that stuff. So this is new too. No, you're thinking of a different sort of robot. This book is talking about automated machinery that's used to build things like cars. What's that one called? It says Foundations of DNA and Genetic Engineering. Overview of photochemistry. I think whoever set this up wanted us to see the cover, not the spine. Let's look at it, okay? Hey! Looks like there's a whole lot of space behind these books. Look, Junpei! I think there's something hidden behind the books. See another light. Powerful light bulb. Brand new light bulb. Looks like a pretty high wattage one, too. I'm glad we did this. Communication and computer science, huh? That's a pretty generic title. To be honest, it's so vague, I don't really know what it might be about. That's it. That's like the upper section. Okay, we got this. Monkey behavior. That's the one we just looked at. Mind swap on the spine. Cult stuff. Yeah, we looked at this before. Sure you didn't miss anything. So if we've already looked at it, it looks like it does give us the discussion afterwards. Okay. I'm just making sure I don't miss anything here, guys. Didn't really do this in intelligent order. Okay, it's the same. This we've already done. That was there, right? Yeah. Those books. Did that. Black hole. So we got the pop-up book, Hellenism. Okay, I think that's it. Now let's go down. More of those books we probably have to rearrange. Algebraic number theory. Math, huh? There's another one like that over there. Or over here. You mean something like primary number theory or analytical number theory or geometry? Oh my gosh, how did you know? Nobody said anything about those. Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines. If there was a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess that the other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right. This one's Goldbach's Conjecture. Conjecture? What's it about? Like magic or psychic stuff or something? Right. I bet it's about jewelry, isn't it? Seven's really proud of himself for that one. It may have an odd title, but it's actually a very respectable mathematics book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory. Sorry I said anything. Look, let's not get into this right now, okay? Can't deal with math. It's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. Huh, that's funny. Whoa, why is that funny? I don't know why that's funny. It says Riemann hypothesis, or Riemann. What is there to hypothesize about with a Riemann? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Heavens no, there are many factors: length, girth, lubrication, or lack of. It's an exciting and rapidly growing field. Whoa! All right. Interesting. Dad kind. What the hell is this? Isn't that a German mathematician? Maybe it's a compilation of his work. Leibniz. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names. This book is in German. Looks like it's the complete works of something. Never heard of it. Well, if Snake doesn't know what it is, I don't think we'll ever know. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary? Sheldrake. Sheldrake. Isn't Sheldrake... lower part of the spine. Sounds like she recognized Sheldrake. Can't do anything with these yet. Okay. Sure, we're gonna come back to those. They'll seem important. Speaking of important, this seems to be one of the more important parts. There are dim lights on the floor. The dim lights are set at 3 points across the floor. It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look kind of like music stands. Hey, Junpei, do you think maybe you're supposed to put those pop-up books on the stands? Then you can open them up. Oh, yeah. If we do that, then they make a shadow on the bottom there. True, but there are 3 stands, right? We don't have enough picture books. In other words, we need 3 picture books. Shoot. Still have to find one more. Modern Japanese literature, huh? Hey, there's another one of those picture books there. Okay, good. I really didn't want to have to go back and look through all the books again. Something about these things feels kind of nice, you know? Brings back good memories. Guess even people like 7 were kids once. No shit, you little brat. Hey guys, cool it. All right, I think I'm gonna take this picture book with me. Tales of Old Japan. It's got a magic wand on it. Okay. So, what's inside? Well, aren't you gonna open it? Pretty sure it's just gonna have pages inside. Smarta, whoa! I wonder if that's gonna point. It must point to like one of those volumes. From that we just looked at. Book has an S, an E, a dash, and a number 5 sticking out of it. Might be impressed if I was 5. Let me just see if I can. Oh, let's look at the rest of this. Origin of Japanese folklore. Looks like there are a bunch of books about Japanese culture here. Mostly ones about folklore, though. Well, folklore can cover a wide range of subjects. History, urban life, religious trends, environmental changes, oral traditions. Folklore can cover all those things if you know where to look. This looks pretty deep. Let me just see if I can guess which one it's going to point us to. Probably Sheldrake. I think it's probably going to point us to Sheldrake 5. Let's find out. And maybe before I do that, astronomy. Bookshelf has sort of a glass inlay. It's pretty big, but there's only 6 books on it. That seems kind of weird. Hey, it looks like there's something on the bottom. I can't really see it though. The glass is all foggy. And that's, oh, like a lock there, right? In the middle of the glass door is a cylinder lock. You know, the kind of lock where you rotate the numbers around until you've got the right ones to open it. What the hell is this? It's like they just gave us the answer. So I might as well give it a shot. I have no idea. Hint. Oh, I see. 632415. Or 15. Okay. That's from the books. You did it, Junpei! Yay! I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if we can get it open, alright? Aha. The 3rd powerful light bulb. Feels like a light bulb. Pretty high wattage too, unless I missed my guess. This should generate quite a bit of light. 3 books. 3 light bulbs. All 6 books seem to be pointing at the cylinder number lock. This iron plate is bolted down. I don't think it's a door. I think it's just a wall. Seems a bit weird. That's it. It's just these 3 different perspectives. all sorts of languages. I can't read them. Okay. It's a small enclosure. Let's see if we can put these books down now. Okay, how about we try putting these picture books on the stands? Then... This is a little weird. Then we need the light bulbs. All right, so there are 3 lights in here. I'm gonna change these bulbs. Now they should... Yeah, Sheldrake 5, thank you very much. Awesome, it worked. Way to go, Junpei. Good job, buddy. There's something projecting on the bottom. These letters, they seem familiar.
Sheldrake 5?
Okay, I'm on adventure screen. I'm switching back to novel. I noticed it this time. Sheldrake 5. Junpei read the text out loud.
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Seven and Clover walked off, leaving Junpei and Snake behind.
Sheldrake.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
Junpei grinned.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory.
I totally didn't... It's been so long since I experienced this. I didn't connect that.
Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did?
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
We kind of had an epiphany when we remembered the other path that we went down. And we have of course been experiencing danger this whole time. So we have experienced both of those.
You did? Why?
Well...
Junpei's eyes narrowed.
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
Yeah, I mean, let's go, guys.
Tell you what?
Time to like, start sharing.
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Snake's shoulders slumped, and he shook his head slowly.
Ugh.
He'd finally given up.
Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor.
Of course. Junpei nodded. With that, they climbed the stairs to the top floor. Snake was silent for a moment after they arrived, then finally crossed his arms and spoke.
I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
Okay. See? I knew more people got stuff at the beginning. Snake reached into his sleeve and pulled out a small, stiff piece of paper.
That's a Braille card. It looks just like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards?
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the Nonary game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say, there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator.
Okay. Understandable.
It's a threat on our lives.
Oh. Well,
Snake nodded.
Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did.
You didn't ask her?
But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
She did, like, really hesitate in telling us anything.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
Uh-oh. I hope something bad's not gonna happen. Snake glanced down at Clover and Seven examining one of the bookshelves.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high.
Kinda got that.
I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
My top suspects are Santa, June, Snake, Clover, I guess. I guess those four. Lotus, nah, I don't know. Now I'm just naming everyone. June and Santa are my top two.
Why?
Clover told me about the four-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it.
There we go. Okay.
He wouldn't kill us. No matter what the situation was.
Is it possible it was his sister that was in the group and not him? If he was in the group, he wouldn't kill him. Okay. Okay. Snake paused and cocked his head, as though he was listening to something very far away. His face looked dark, as though something was weighing on him.
Hey, Snake?
Junpei wasn't quite sure what to say. Snake turned and looked at him.
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
It's damn right I want to know.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada.
This is good because I need this like recap. Okay. 2 experiments, 2 locations. Nevada.
And the girl that died during the experiment.
Okay, so there was 1 girl that died. I thought for some reason it was 2, but...
She told you all that, did she?
I was thinking maybe the girl that died was Santa's sister. Snake looked down. His face was tight. A slight tremor shook his body, and he tried to hide it. He was putting on a good front. But even Junpei could tell that he was holding back something deep and powerful. Made as if to brush something from his face, and looked up at Junpei.
At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
is who did this and why, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes.
Snake nodded slowly.
The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Okay, we knew that.
There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki.
It was Gentaro is Ace, right?
Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
There we go.
Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division.
Is it possible that looks like it could be the ninth man? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Possibly could be them.
Musashido was their majority stockholder.
Nice mustache.
It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
Him, the cash. Designer. Like organizer. The kind of like brains behind it, the technology, and the money. Okay. It's gonna be hard for me to remember those names, because I just like I'm not that familiar with Japanese culture, so these names don't like stick for me.
Huh, so it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido.
Junpei couldn't shake the sense that he had heard those 4 names somewhere before.
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale.
Of course we heard the names before from the paper that we found in the safe, but that was a previous path.
To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project.
Not 9 of them? 10?
The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field.
Huh.
Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize?
This is coming back to...
Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produced the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before.
The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. I just, like, I'm so brought back to the idea that this game was designed to be like this experiment, like just to see, by the developers, to see if people could like just instinctively find the correct paths through this like sort of telepathy. I guess the problem is that we're lacking those two things, the epiphany, maybe not epiphany, but we're lacking the danger, because our lives are not in jeopardy while we're playing the game.
Why is that? How could it happen? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer.
Okay, so I think we tapped into that in a couple episodes ago, talking about like the maelstrom. And that's the thing that we're like, we keep like having like a feeling of resonant events. So like an event that happened in the previous path keeps resonating and transmitting information to us.
That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
That's right.
Snake nodded.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
By implanting ideas and information.
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
I get it.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well.
Okay. So they found a person that has the kind of strength of like millions.
Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then?
I just love that they're using the handstand as an example. I'm actually picturing like hundreds of thousands of people just spontaneously doing handstands in like the city I live in. It'd be hilarious.
A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver.
So they're trying to create one of those people, or they found someone that could do it?
What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
Or was the experiment to try to find someone like that? Junpei thought about it for a moment.
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish.
Okay. Got it.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Close enough, at least.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began.
Snake suddenly looked very serious.
By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
I feel like we did, but we're going to find out about it in the next episode. This one's running long. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad we're getting some more info and glad we solved that puzzle. Hope you're enjoying the playthrough. This is Luckless signing off for now, and I love you all.